Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a landmark musical in African American musical theater titled Shuffle Along. The year is 1921. A musical revue written and performed by African Americans opens on Broadway at the 63rd Street Musical Hall on May 23rd, running for a total of 504 performances. The show would launch the careers of Josephine Baker, Adelaide Hall, Florence Mills, Freddie Washington, and Paul Robeson, and was so popular it caused curtain time traffic jams on West 63rd Street. However, the success of the show didn't start off easy. The show's four writers, who had never written a musical or appeared on Broadway, decided to write a show based on the play The Mayor of Dixie. The principal characters wore tuxedos, conveying their dignity and allowing them to defy traditional stereotypes by being both clever and complex. After finding a small source of funding, the show toured both New Jersey and Pennsylvania. However, with such a limited budget, cast members were not only rarely paid, making it very difficult to meet travel expenses, but often were trapped out of town when the box office receipts couldn't cover train fare. To make matters even more difficult, cast members had to wear damaged and leftover costumes from previous productions. The plus side, though, the entire set could actually fit into one taxi cab, making it easy to transport between theaters. Now, as if it couldn't get worse for a show which seemed doomed from the start, the Depression of 1920 and 1921 meant the show owed $18,000 and faced very strong competition on Broadway, as well as being able to only book the remote 63rd Street Music Hall with absolutely no orchestra pit. However, with all of the continued hard work and no pay, the show was able to earn $9 million from the original production and 3 touring companies, proving the doomed show would have its place on Broadway. Shuffle Along would end up drawing repeat audiences due to its jazzy music styles, which were a modern but edgy contrast to the mainstream song and dance styles audiences had seen on Broadway for the past 2 decades. Shuffle Along was the first Broadway musical to prominently feature syncopated jazz music and the first to feature a chorus of 16 professional female dancers. Not only did all of this help contribute to the desegregation of theaters in the 1920s, giving many African American actors a chance to appear on Broadway, it also helped unite the African American jazz communities, improving race relations in America. The show was the first major production in more than a decade to be produced, written, and performed entirely by African Americans. Shuffle Along legitimized the African American musical, proving to producers and managers that audiences would indeed pay to see African American talent on Broadway. The performers of Shuffle Along recognized the importance of the show's success to their careers. It was one of the first shows to provide the right mixture of primitivism and satire, enticement and respectability, along with blackface humor and romance to satisfy its customers. Previous drama that was popular in America during the 1900s had impacts on most African American shows. Many stereotypes had been developed by directors that had parodied from carefully selected aspects of real African American life. The mix of reality and make-believe was that in each case the latter quality reinforced the former, creating absurdly comedic African American characters and situations. The show had 2 unsuccessful Broadway revivals, both in 1933 at the Mansfield Theater and in 1952 at the Broadway Theater. The musical would, however, see a brand new incarnation when in 2016 a revival written by George C. Wolfe would focus on the challenges of mounting the 1921 production along with its success and aftermath, including both its effect on Broadway and the country's race relations. However, while the revival saw 10 Tony nominations and starred Audra McDonald, Brian Stokes Mitchell, Billy Porter, Brandon Victor Dixon, and Joshua Henry, it won absolutely nothing. Throughout its ups and major downs, Shuffle Along is a timeless classic that continues to inspire and entertain audiences, and should continue to be celebrated and remembered. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to today's video. If you enjoyed this, please comment on what you liked or disliked. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to see other videos like this, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, that's a wrap.